Well, hello everybody. It's I don't know, about 2 o'clock in the morning, which in our house is not that unusual, and made it through Sunday. Made it through a whole week of this here sequester here in the hills of Southwest Virginia. Haven't gone quite crazy yet, but then it's always been a short trip in this house. Uh, Nancy would never say that, but I will, because I'm talking about me. Anyway, I thought I'd talk a little bit about an instrument that is much maligned by some and loved by others. I have a particular fascination with it, although I'm really not a great practitioner. First time I ever really did anything with banjo was about 51 years ago, actually. My original guitar teacher, Steve Haft, called me up one night and basically asked me if I wanted a gig. And I was never been shy. And I said, sure. What are you talking about? He says, well, I'm playing at Shakey's Pizza Parlor and I can't make the gig tonight. So if you'll go into the Shakey's and take a banjo with you. And I said, well, I don't have a banjo. He says, well, I'll get you a banjo for tonight. And I said, but Steve, I don't play banjo. And he says, tune it like a guitar and go do the gig. And again, like probably most of my musical career, I was just crazy enough to do it. And so I tuned a banjo that he gave me and went into Silver Spring Drive. There was a Shakey's Pizza Parlor there. And if you haven't been to a Shakey's, it's an experience all in of itself. I don't think they exist anymore, but it was basically ragtime music. One had a calliope that we played in because I went in, to make a long story longer, and I played the gig, and evidently I did well enough that the guy who played piano said, "Well, you want a gig?" And I said immediately yes because I got paid $21 a night, $7 an hour, and pizza. Now, if you're an 18-year-old, 19-year-old boy, I'll tell you, $7 an hour in 1970 was a big deal, and pizza was like the staff of life. So I played, and I played there about 7 months. Like I said, played two or three of them around the Milwaukee area, and Steve went on to better things. Uh, Still in contact with Steve and Bruce Kerr, two of my actual musical heroes growing up that got me kind of into this business, along with my mom, who anyone who knows, Connie Smith, was a showwoman of quite renown in the Waukesha area and was a darn good jazz singer. We did a lot of traditional jazz in our house, and I actually started playing tuba, which I would then later do as well, playing traditional jazz. But then fast forward another 18 years or so, and I got a gig playing banjo and other instruments with a pit band for the musical Cowboy with the Montana Repertory Theater. And again, I tuned it like a guitar and played ragtime, again with David Duval and oh, Carrie Stewart and several other musicians, Jeff Weir, and a couple. One I can't. I just forgive me. I can't remember uh, Dave's name. Anyway, help me with that, guys, and send me something. Played bass. My brain is going. But anyway, about 6 years later, I came to this country in Southwest Virginia. Well, here you don't just get away with tuning it like a guitar. And I decided I really wanted to try and learn the instrument. So I, again, I had a banjo that I'd carried with me and was mediocre at, and decided to really start learning the fingerings, the tunings. And then, I don't know, about 8 years ago, I decided I wanted to get a period style instrument. Still doing a lot of Civil War type things, and this banjo here is a copy of a Boucher banjo Oh, probably from about what, the 1840s or 50s. Jim Lloyd, who has a real one, could tell you a whole lot more about it, and Jim Lloyd can also play it a whole lot better than I can. Um, Play most things. I'm a bass player by trade, and there's no way I'm going to stand up here and do bass solos. So we got to make do with what we got. Anyway, I built this thing, and there's a story of trying to get the slimy goat skin attached to the top of this by holding this ring, which actually was a comedy act that I didn't know I was doing at the time, and I never want to do again. But it's been there now for 8 years. It really is a drum sound. And this has a really kind of a wonderful sound. But I basically taught myself banjo, so I am nowhere near what Elizabeth Roberts, young girl down in Scott County, I play with when we do the string band, or Dale Morris, who's really good. And I have learned a lot just by listening to Dale and fellas like Jim. And then there's all kinds of great banjo players around this area. Me, I just have fun. I just like making sounds. Again, don't know what that was, but I had fun doing it. I just love the way the sound of this is. I'll be probably doing some other things on a couple other banjos. I got a little banjo crazy. I've got four of them, which is not like real banjo crazy. I mean, the real banjo crazy is like, more than you can stick in one room. And I've seen people who have just all kinds of banjos. And if you ever need a banjo, talk to Dale Morris. Dale has some great ones, and he will make sure that you get treated fairly. I'm doing commercials now, I guess, for Dale. These are all my friends over there in the Blue Ridge, where, frankly, old time music has been my great teaching place, where I learn about the music that actually my father-in-law played, and his brothers, and so many people in this area played when they were shut in the house. I mean, this shut-in thing is thing. I got clothes on today. Yesterday I wore my moose pants all day long, and I kind of enjoyed it. It was Saturday, so I figured I had the day off from doing whatever it is we do. Anyway, hope you're getting through it. We all got to kind of get through this thing together, and whatever way we can contribute to the silliness, um, keep laughing, keeping caring about each other. The government's going to do what the government's going to do, and I don't know that they'll get it figured out to help us, but we can take care of each other. And it's interesting. Now, one thing we can't do is use up all our bullets. So, in other words, um, it'll be interesting 5 or 6 weeks from now to see what we're still coming up with. Lord, I might be playing Frank Zappa on this thing by then. Who knows?